What's up everybody? My name is Austin Robinson and today I'm going to teach you how to make grime art on Photoshop. So first things first, you're going to open your photo in Photoshop. Today we're going with this picture of my friend Haley and her niece. So right off the bat, start a new layer, rename it body. First things first, just start with a basic outline and then just scribble it in. We can go back in and get the details later. Now that we've got that, we're going to go up, drop our size down, and zoom in. And we're going to go along the outline of her face. We'll get the lips, shade it in, and then you're basically just going to do that for the rest of her face. Go around the choker. It doesn't have to be perfect. Obviously you're making a cartoon image, so it doesn't need to be super realistic. So in most circumstances I would also handle her neck, but I just want to do this quick tutorial. I'm not going to do all that. At the end of the video you'll be able to see the full finished product with Haley's entire body done and the baby done. But for now, we're just going to focus on her face. So once you get her body done, go ahead and hide that layer. Start a new layer. We're going to name this one Shadows. Start a new layer. Call this one Black Lines. So we're going to go to the Black Lines layer, change our color to black, and then we're going to outline her face and her facial features. So you're not going to want a super high point. Check this. We'll go with 25 for the outline of her face. Start right here, and all we're going to do is outline. So just go through and outline any major facial features you can see. When I do grime art, I always just go a solid black for the eyebrows. I don't ever actually just go with like a real looking eyebrow. We just go with the fake black eyebrow. Bring it down, go along the neck, along the choker, Command 0, zoom back out, unhide the body, see what we're working with. Alright, so you see there's some pink hanging out. We're going to bring up the eraser, up the size of this, and bring it back to the body layer, and just get rid of any pink that's hanging out of that outline. Alright, go to shadows. Now this isn't technically a shadow, but I always add the eyes into the shadow layer. I'm going to paint the eyes white. You can paint the eyes whatever color you want in yours, but I, again, always keep flat white. Zoom back out. Alright, it's a start. We got white eyes. And next we're going to do her lips. Back to the body layer. Change the color. You're going to want to use this eyedropper. Get the exact same color that you were using for the body. Drag it over a little bit. I always make my lips the same color as the skin, just a little lighter. So we got this pink, up the size to this. There we go. And there we go, we have some lighter lips. Alright, so now that we have the lips done, we're going to actually go back to the black line layer, and now we're going to start to actually make this grimy. So, what you're going to want to do, go to your black lines layer, zoom in, find a size that works for you. You don't want to go too big. If you go too big, it's going to look ridiculous. I'm going to go with probably 20 for this one. And now you're just going to go through and add lines that make it look like the person is melting. There's like 3 or 4 basic ones that you can stick with. I'll run you through them real quick. There's the double, the triple, the single, and then just a little V. So all of them work. I'm not going to use any of those ones, obviously they're all pretty rough. Now we're going to go through and add these. You want to take your time with this. Although it's a cartoon, you want it to look good. So take your time, don't rush it, it's art. Don't rush it. So I usually start like this. Start there. And then just slowly add some in. I like to usually try to do a little overlap effect with the eyebrows. So you can make a black line through your eyebrows, bring it back down to the black line layer, grab your eraser, and then just go along. And now it looks like there's something melting over her eyebrows. There's little things like that you can do that add depth to the photos. It'll help a lot. It's going to make your work look a lot better. So back to black lines. And we're just adding grime pieces. Do some singles in there. Singles are always necessary. They're simple, but they fill in space. So another thing you're going to want to make sure you're doing, adjust for the composition of whatever photo you're taking. If somebody's upside down, don't have the same melt. Adjust your melt so it would be falling that way that the person is orientated. Ah, you. Another incredibly important part of grime art, make sure you hit your funny bone at some point. And I think I want to have something dripping off her chin. So we're going to bring it down. Just like that. Go up to your eraser, lower the size, get rid of that black that's in there, come down to your body, eyedropper, get that same pink, bring your paint tool up, and then fill in along the black lines that you just created. Alright, so we got the basic outline of her face done. It looks good. We're going to leave it. Next up, we're going to come down to that shadows layer that you haven't really touched yet. And this is where we start to really make this look good. So, first things first, go to your color tool, eyedropper that same pink from the body, but this time instead of going lighter for the lips, you're going to go darker for shadows. If you want to make your photos look really realistic, you're going to want to adjust the shadows for whatever the lighting in the photo would be. For me, I go with more cartoon aesthetic. I don't really care where the lighting is. I'm just going to add shadows to everything. So what you're going to want to do in that shadows is just go right along those same black lines and just trace right underneath. And now it's going to give us kind of a 3D look. It's going to make it look like there's actually stuff coming off of her face. This isn't to say this is how you have to do it. This is just how I learned to do it. This is how I messed around with Photoshop and just experimented, and this is how I learned. So, may not work for you. Learn the rules and then break them. We're looking better, we're looking better. Come into that nose. Alright, so I'm just going to fast forward to where I'm done the shadows. See you in a little bit. Oh, we hit it again. So once you go through and you add shadows to the grime, you're going to want to finish the outline of the face. So, back to black line layer. You're not going to want to do the same thickness that you did before. You want to make it a little skinnier, just because it's going along the hairline. Yes, it's a cartoon, but you also want the hairline to still be a little realistic. So we're going to drop this down to 15. And then we're just going to go along the hairline. We got low battery. Might have to take a break and plug my stuff in. So what I like to do is also just add a shadow to that skinny black line that you just did around the hairline, just to give it a little bit more separation. It makes it look a little bit more like the hair is creating a shadow across the top of the head. Again, just little minor details that I enjoy. You may not. That's the fun of this. It's all art. You get to do it however you want. This is just my personal preference. And there we go. We got our whole face outlined. So now we are going to go to black lines, create one more lunar layer, name this one white/reflections. And this is where you're going to go in, change your color to white. Okay. We're going to go with an even smaller brush size, bring it down to 10. And we're going to go into each of these little melts, and we're going to add a little reflection line. You can add them wherever you want. Again, if you're doing it with proper lighting, you're going to want to add the reflection lights where it would actually reflect. Me, I don't care. We're going cartoon style. I'm just going to add them wherever I want. Also, in the white layer, go down to the lips and go right along the edge and add a little bit of white to the lips. And that is going to make them pop a little more. So once you add your white, go back to your black lines layer, change color to black. Now we're just going to go through and add really minor details just to clean it up and give us a finished product. So now we're just going to add little tiny grime lines, just to give it a little bit more tiny detail. And again, these ones can be tiny. We're not going to go through and add shadows to these. This is just to fill in some of the empty space. And there we go. That's basically what we're going to be working with. There's your rough outline. As you can see, Haley's face has been grimed. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this whole thing off camera, and you'll be able to see the finished product in the end. Compared to some of the work I've done before, this is actually pretty rough, but it's just for a quick YouTube video. So I hope this helps you, gives you a little intro into what you can do with Photoshop and grime art. I'm going to attach some of the work I've made before. What I like to do after I get everything done, I usually cut the backgrounds out and I'll add an animation in the back just so it's moving, and it makes it really awesome. So check out some of my past work, and then at the very end of this video you'll be able to see a finished, more detailed product of this.